Party people in the place to be, live from 58 Dream Street. This is Friday Night Frosthaven. And the gang's not all here, not at all, not even a little, just halfway. It's just the bottom row tonight. It's the 4 o'clock and the 5 o'clock and the 7 o'clock of our little array here.
Yeah.
The 6 o'clock boys, you could call us. We're here, starting a little bit earlier than usual, and almost certainly wrapping up earlier than usual too, because it's an Outpost phase. It's a Greg and James Outpost phase. Rich will join us if he does happen to get back from a track meet and get his internet working and log in, but I bet that doesn't happen.
It seems unlikely with us starting early, especially.
Yeah, even with if the timing works out for Rich for normal time, I don't think it's going to work out for current time, where we're getting going a little bit early. But hey, that's all good. Player 1, not here. Player 2, not present. Player 3, playing the unfettered hive, Stevie. It's Greg. How you doing, Greg?
I am doing good, James. Thank you.
Could you update me on how much gold do you actually have right now?
Right now, I have 45 gold pieces.
45. 6 more than the last time I updated your little thing. 45. Ho, Cedric's here with us. He says, Greg and James dice with death. I will point out, and I'm sure that Isaac Childress would want me to, that there are no dice in Gloomhaven.
No.
Long ago, I think they've scrubbed it from the website, but the Cephalofair Games website used to have the very silly
James
tagline.
will never forget.
I will never let them live this down. They used to, taking the randomness out of games. It's like, actually, the many decks of cards that we draw from and that we have to shuffle actually introduce a lot of randomness into the game, which is fine. That's a pretty much traditional RPG structure, is to balance the rules-based predictability with a little bit of randomness to simulate the fact that every time you swing your sword, you don't swing with the same panache.
Sometimes you totally biff it.
Yeah, I mean, just look at my fantasy basketball team stats. You know, every now and then, I'll pop in the middle of a game as it updates. Guided by voices here, lurking with panache. Every now and then, I'll pop in on my fantasy basketball team in the middle of a game, and it'll be like the third quarter, and Jimmy Butler will have like 4 points. It's like, what the hell? But he's still Jimmy Butler. It's not like he's like in the end of it, like he's in the sad part of his career where everyone's like, why won't he retire? He'll put up 27 points next game, but everyone's going to have an off day, let alone an off single swing of the sword. Anyway, all that said, player 4, playing the Algox Snow Dancer, Miss Thumpa. It's James. The other things I say about myself: run the game, run the show. Your host here at 58 Dream Street. How am I doing? Good. It's been busy, and I had maybe it was a cold that failed, or maybe it was just like a weird sinus infection that wasn't that bad, but I was very fatigued in the evenings, and I was snotty as hell this week, but no other symptoms emerged, and I'm pretty much better now. So, hey, I'll take it. I'd rather have nothing, but sure beats the hell out of even just a normal common cold. So, hey, not bad. In addition to doing a ton for my students this week, for example, because of my marking team, I'm able to make the batch size of proposals for my upper year class that we each have to evaluate something like 16. And then I decided, you know what, screw it. I'll do at least 50. Just because, and this is not me trying to denigrate my academic staff, the students who make a little bit of extra money helping me run these courses. But I am better at giving feedback on proposals and guiding the students through their papers than anyone who I pay. Both the good ones and the ones who are, pretty good, they get their job done. I'm way better at it. It'd be great if I could do all 150, but I can't. But I decided, you know what? First 50 students who got their proposals in, at least get my feedback, and I'm on track. So I feel good about that. But I also had a productive Dragon Quest III HD2D remake week.
Nice.
I descended into the underworld, which is the late portion of the game today. It's I've known about it since probably the 6th grade, when a friend of a friend gave me an entire cache of Nintendo Powers. And so I read a guide to Dragon Quest III, which I had never played at the time. And it was stunning to me then, but it's even more impressive now to see it in action, which is that very late in the game, you kill the guy who you've been told, spoilers, by the way, for a game where the plot's not really that important. And it's also 30 years old. You had your chance. It's over 30 years old. What am I trying to say here? You slay the guy who you thought was the villain all along. And he was. Yeah. But he was actually just a minion of a more powerful villain in the underworld. When you descend to the underworld to hunt him, the underworld is Alefgard, the kingdom from Dragon Quest I. And it's not just a surprise, you're in the one place, you go, you fight the boss. Like there's a few callbacks. It's the whole world. And it's an ongoing quest of figure out how to get there. And you got to go all around. It really it extends the quest. It's stunning to me that they were able to fit all this, because it's also the main world is very big in Dragon Quest 3, but they managed to fit all this in a NES cart, and not even the unusually gigantic one that they used for Dragon Quest 4. I'm pretty sure if you get it on an emulator, the ROM for Dragon Quest 4 is over a megabyte, which is typical NES ROMs are 256 kilobytes or less. Anyway, it's really cool, and I'm enjoying it, so I feel good about that, and I'm excited to do this. And then we also we have company, Danielle's friends, but friends who I'm very fond of. Lauren is here, and so is or I think Lauren might not be here yet, but she's coming. And Laura is to just torture me. Danielle's two best friends have basically the same name.
There's some letters.
Yeah, but it'll be so I'm great. That'll be fun. So I'm all jazzed up, full of energy, and I don't know why, because I'm probably going to be tired soon, but here we are.
Ride this high when you can, James.
Yeah. So let's do an Outpost phase, Greg. Let's jump in.
Yeah, let's do it.
Martin pointed out that we are so lucky. I don't know, we've said this before, Martin, but we should say it as often as possible. We're so lucky to have you, Martin, because it's not just that Martin can say hey, you're doing this rule wrong, and gradually get me to the point where I'm getting right most of the time, at least. We unlocked a new item, the Feathered Cloak. And I said, as I often do when we get these craftable items, oh man, it's cool when you have to combine two other items to make this other item, but it's always been one basic item and one item we don't have. We haven't unlocked. Mm-hmm. And it's not like you can quest and search for specific items. So it's very much a process of when are we ever going to get to do any of these? Martin pointed out that we actually do have item 233, the rare part of the thing. It is the dead bird, the dead raven.
Yep, the dead raven.
We can make a pretty cool item, except only Rich can, unless I think he can sell it to the town stock, and then I could buy it if Rich turns out not to want it. And I could see why Rich wouldn't want it, because the pain conduit likes to get hurt. But this consume wind to get 3 shield on the attack when you get attacked seems very promising for me. Because my leather
good for any of us, because we often have wind in the air, so anybody could use that.
Yeah, the only reason I think Rich might not like it is the aforementioned liking to take damage thing. But for me, it's right now I'm using leather armor, which is theoretically good, except that I have that perk where when the enemies first appear, they all get disadvantage on me, and a fair portion of the times I've been attacked, it's been in that phase. And it still triggers the leather armor. So I'm not getting much use out of the leather armor. So I don't know. Anyway, we'll talk about all that later. But
I think as well,
looking out, Martin.
Continue talking about this a little bit now.
Mm-hmm.
I think as well that while I could use that, because I don't like particularly getting hit, I don't think I would, even for 3 shield, I don't think I would want to give up the Warden's Robes.
Yeah, Warden's Robes are pretty great.
Which help my summons not get hit, and they get hit far more often than I do.
Yeah, so. And I'm anticipating, now that we're getting rolling, and I've played a few times with Miss Thumpa, I'm starting to think that there's often going to be utility to using my crazy jump to enter a room in a big way and land in a place where I can hit multiple targets, which is going to necessitate me getting hit, but probably getting hit by enemies that still have disadvantage because of my perk. So...
Yep.
Yeah, so maybe Rich wants to sell that dead bird. But we'll talk to Rich about that in the future. He can mulligan it back into this Outpost phase if he wants to. In fact, I reserve the right to mulligan back to also go into the next scenario with the Feathered Cloak if Rich is amenable. All right. So there's no updating of the map to be done. We have technically unlocked a new scenario, but it's already on the map. It's just we can go to the Thawed Wood now because we completed the scenario that releases the heat that thaws the wood. It was technically the Frozen Wood, but now it's the Thawed Wood. We could go there. And I was thinking we were going to go there until Greg reminded me that we're going to clearly unlock the next step of Rich's quest and want to go for that. So I'm very glad that I didn't get ahead of myself too much. I took out the monsters for next week, but not anything else. And I think I also wound up punching one in because I think the Black Imps were facing for the first time in not the first time ever, but the first time in Frosthaven.
Right.
So I think I entered them into the console. So I think I actually got some stuff done that'll be salutary later. But yeah, cool. So we're right into the Outpost phase, is what I'm trying to say. I did not get an Outpost or a road event out, but that's not too hard.
We can grab them. That's easy.
In fact, I'll get the box right now. We're starting with the passage of time, of course, and that's going to involve reading some stuff. But why not, before all of that, why not get the things we're going to need to read? So that once this starts,
Why not?
Once we start going here, it'll be boom, 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 boom. And we'll be getting it done. I have to pick 2 perks for Miss Thumpa. Or, for the first time, I have to get a double checkmark perk. Because I do have that option. One of Miss Thumpa's character perks, like the special ones that have cards to remind you how they work, is whenever you short rest, you may consume Frost to perform Regenerate 3 within range 3, and consume Wind to perform, looks like Ward within range 3.
Oh, nice.
So actually, geez, now that I've said that out loud, that sounds pretty great. Maybe I'll do that. But cool. This is where we are. I also I'm going to pick my new ability because I'm leveling up, all that good stuff. Did you level up, Greg?
I also leveled up. I'm level 4 now.
Level 4. All right, let me update that. Go back to the gang screen for a moment.
Picked another perk. Picked a new card. I've got a new thing to do now.
Excellent. Oh, whoops. I see what I did. There. Click to the scenario screen and not the Outpost screen. Okay. The differences are subtle, but they're significant. Just when everything's sized slightly differently, even though it's the same layout. All right. It's the passage of time. Let me pass that time.
Let's pass some time.
Well, oh no, I messed up.
Oh no.
I dragged down instead of to the right somehow. Although physically I didn't. So I guess really it's fair to say Google Sheets screwed up. Or my optical mouse. Okay. So, yeah, it's only one thing on the agenda today. It's section 26.1.
Okay.
So let me bust that out. I'll say this without getting into too much detail. It certainly smells to me like Laura and Danielle are having a great time. All right. Section. Oh, great news. Great news. I wrote it down wrong.
Well, how do you mean?
So now we have to go backwards. Well, no, wait. Okay, so what was the last Rich quest scenario? Unless this is a typo. Maybe it's an.
Oh, it might be in the errata. What was?
Maybe, but hold on. We'll check both of these things at the same time as soon as I find.
Yeah, just give me the section.
The last one was scenario 66, Elemental Cores. How could I forget? But yeah, what I wrote down is just the middle of glowing catacombs. Okay, at the end, 60.1. I bet it's my fault, but it would be great if it turned out to be...
I'm not seeing elemental orbs or 66 on the errata, on the official errata.
60... Where the hell was I? What did I just say? 60. Oh my goodness.
66.
No, hold on. Yeah. Scenario 66, but then it tells you what
Yeah.
to read when the thing ends, and I got the number wrong in my brain. And I didn't keep it open because I thought, this is all I need, this number that is now in my brain. 130.2. And yet I was on page like 60 something, trying to find this.
Yep.
What did I just say, Greg? 130.2?
Oh my god. Yes.
I just want to stress, I have not been having any great times with Danielle and Laura.
It's seeping in through the floorboards.
Yeah. Okay. 29.3 was
That's
added
a totally different number.
than 26.1. Odd that 26.1 turned out to be another thing that we had read recently. Maybe that's I got the number stuck in my brain somehow. Although that seems unlikely. Because we look at so many of these. Oh dear. Greg, what did I just say?
29 point something.
29 point. No, none of this pertains.
Okay.
Unless. Oh, no, never mind. Yes. Sorry. I forgot that Rich's quest is called the Aesther Outpost. So I was like, no, we're not in a scenario called Aesther Outpost. But there's always the scenario number in parentheses. Anyway, okay. Here's some great news. It's like the shortest paragraph that was ever written in Frosthaven.
Okay.
Your assistance is needed. The faint whisper of Voice of Eight slips into your mind, though they are nowhere to be seen. Please hurry. New scenario. Core attunement. So now we got to update the map.
Okay.
Hey, Abra. And Abra has come to visit, so I like that.
Good job. Good stuff.
So we're going to scenario 67, which as you can see is the second last phase of the journey. Boom.
Voice of Eight is the Acer that has 8 personalities and voices that perfectly come together to sound exactly like your voice, right?
Yes, I didn't just forget to voice act, Greg.
Yes.
I may not be a particularly gifted voice actor, but I'm a vigorous and committed one. If I have not officially proclaimed that someone speaks in my voice, I'm not going to speak in my own voice when I read their dialogue. Okay, so this is going to go to K4. And now I need to slide the map. This will have to do, I guess. Because I wasn't planning on updating the map. I should have thought about it a little bit more. Okay, K4, I see where it's going. And it's hard to screw that one up. It's just going right in the tundra. And I did screw it up a little bit. You can hardly tell. Great, 67. It's on the map.
Good stuff.
So, we won't spoil the whole thing for ourselves. But let's take a quick look in the scenario book. Just to get a sense of what Marcel's got in store for us next. Because, and I continue to be delighted by this, Rich picked a pain conduit character and then drew the personal quest that is entirely comprises entirely Marcel Kortechka Matetsi scenarios. This is another one designed by Marcel and written by his wife, Isabella, who the two of them did the very endearing thing of hyphenating their last names and merging them. Prior to their marriage, she was Isabella Matatsi. So, let's see. Abra. Yeah, that's right. I know. I always know when you're going in the waste paper basket. And she's always shocked. I'm like, hey, Abra. She's like, how do you know? How do you know that I was in the waste paper basket? Because I have ears just like you, Abra.
Impossible. Hey. You don't hear so many of the things that she hears.
All right. Well, on page 1 of the scenario, you perhaps won't be surprised to hear that the special rules take up more space than any other element. The introduction text, the scenario key, the map layout. They comprise both a few paragraphs and a big table explaining what happens in different rounds. And this is a 12 round survive it scenario. It looks like the scenario is complete at the end of the 12th round. And at the end of that round, we'll read a thing.
I don't mind a survive it scenario.
We get
is it like
allies.
A limit? Do we have to like reach a certain point, or is it like a smaller map?
We have to. It's not a small map. It's a 3-piece map, and it includes a very big piece and 2 medium pieces.
Okay.
Let's see. There's a second page. So I think actually the full map key, because it's entirely one big room, is actually bigger than the table of special rules. The idea is, holy smokes. Yep. We're bringing the elemental cores into battle.
Okay.
Or we're showing up to try to protect them. And so the elemental cores need to be preserved. If any elemental core is destroyed, we'll lose in this scenario.
Okay.
As enemies spawn and attack. Is it another all demon type scenario? It sure is. All 7. Chaos demons included.
Okay.
All right. Should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'll say this. Marcel does not always knock them out of the park, but he always swings for the fences. And I think this quest line has been good. I think both a strong foundation and elemental cores were strong scenarios. So I'm optimistic for scenario 67, core attunement. And we'll go do that someday. But for now, let's do Summer Outpost event 65.
Oh yeah, we're done with the passage of time. On to the Outpost event.
Yep. So, you are out for an early morning stroll, taking in the fresh sea air, when you notice a small gathering at the docks. It was intentional. As you approach, you hear snippets of the conversation between Mayor Satha and some fishermen gathered around something. Didn't just flop up here on its own. So who did it? Satha asks. It has to be lurkers, one of the men says. Look at this claw marks. It's gotta be a trap. You finally get close enough to see what they are all looking at. A massive fish from the deep sea, killed by something, and deposited on the docks in the night. Probably poisoned, another fisherman mumbles. Wouldn't put anything past those overgrown lobsters. Satha turns to you. What do you think we should do with it? Option A. It's a gift from our lurker friends. Let's enjoy the free food. Option B. Approach with skepticism. Let's put the fish on ice and stake out the docks to see if the culprit returns. I can't recall for sure, and I'm not going to cheat by looking, but I think this might be a Click Trail Snip Click's retirement event.
It sounds like it might be. I was just thinking that it would be good to have snip, clip, trip, trick.
Click Trail Snip Click.
Click Trail Snip Click with us for this. I
think it's not possible to.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't see a real... Eating it blindly seems like it could be a bad thing, because...
It could be, unless
that feels like
we're supposed to be trusting our friend.
See... Yes. But I also don't see how putting it on ice would offend Snip Trail.
Yeah. Yeah, what could go bad? I don't know. I say we take a chance on love and we eat this fish.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down to eat a fish given to by
possibly
I'll eat a fish given by a friend.
Yes. All right.
It's the fact. You know what makes me think it's more likely that that without looking that it's related to us retiring the lurker.
What?
Is that they're referred to as our lurker friends.
There's that.
Where they were sort of an unknown entity before.
And also, the Deep Wraith in particular is just the type to drop off a gift but not come in to say hi.
Yes.
To vanish without being seen.
Yeah, so
in fact,
let's eat the fish.
Perhaps she's literally right there watching us, invisible.
Yeah, also
all right.
True.
Option A. It's a gift. We're going to try it. Result. The butcher isn't used to dealing with a fish so large, but he manages well enough, removing all the meat from the bones. Some for eating now, the rest to be preserved for the winter. No one wants to try it first, so you dig in. When you don't die, the fishermen finally breathe a sigh of relief, now that their jobs got significantly easier for a while. Gain 2 morale. Well, we can't. These citizens are living fat and happy. But they're happy. And then all characters start the next scenario with bless.
Oh, nice.
Thanks, girl. So I think that was, but we can't say for sure until I actually go check. And I will. Why not?
All right, I'm going to write bless at the top of my sheet so that we remember that.
Excellent. Good work.
And so
I forgot to
Rich
look in. I gotta revisit the puzzle and see if I've done anything more. If I have anything for that.
The last puzzle thing you talked about was when we unlocked the drill character.
Yeah.
Can't remember the metal mosaic.
Yep. And it gave us some hints that I believe I wrote down. Can you check the puzzle hints thing? I remember us getting some consternation because I haven't opened that sheet so you can edit it, and I tried to get you to write them down first. Hopefully I did go and write them down.
For Prince puzzle, up, down, right, Thawed Wood, 36.8. For book 3 puzzle, yeah. Thawed Wood is what we need, right?
Yes.
Next, right?
Yeah.
More reasons to go to Thawed Wood, honestly.
Yep. We'll head that way because that's also how we carry on with the Lurker questline. So we'll go that way once we're done keeping Rich on the path. I have confirmed. It is a question,
though, of do we want to keep Rich on the path? Because Rich did say in the text when we were talking about future scenarios that he's happy playing the Pain Conduit.
That's true.
For a long time.
But I think we might as well get the path to the final one that we can then do when we want.
Okay, so this is not the final one.
No, there's one beyond
more. This.
It's a 4 thing. And I suspect that at some point Rich will remember that he really, really likes the Craigheart, and so he's probably really going to like the Pyroclast. And once he remembers that he's got that waiting for him, I think he'll suddenly be like, oh yeah, right. There is an upside to retiring. And so we might as well have him in a position where he can. Okay, so yeah, I checked, I confirmed that blessed fish was from dear old Click Trill Snip Click. She has got our back. Okay, so we gotta get these goddamn cards, which I keep on not putting in one constant place.
You really should just have those because we know this happens every time.
Yeah, I just didn't. I did actually put them back in there's what is supposed to be the constant place. It turns out. Mm-hmm. I just forgot to get them out. Okay, operations. It's the mining camp. We can collectively buy up to 2 metal for 2 gold each.
I know that we should just because more resources better.
Hmm.
So, I mean, let's do it. Right. 2 each?
You know and I know that if Rich were here, he would insist that he pays for all of it.
All right.
So
Rich only has 10 gold. He's not going to be able to do everything.
That's
actually,
true,
maybe he will.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the hunting lodge.
I'll put him down to 6 and give him 2 metal.
We can collectively buy up to 1 hide for 2 gold. He'll do it.
I'll put him down to 4, and I'll put him up to 4 hide.
And then the logging camp, collectively buy up to 2 lumber.
I'll put him to 0, and I'll give him 2 lumber.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'll cover the inn. Collectively buy 1 material resource for 2 gold. What should we buy, Greg? What do we have
metal
the least
is what
of?
We need.
Buy some metal. I'll pay 2 gold for a metal.
There we go. There's your metal.
Oh, in fact, I'm
gold.
not going to be able to mulligan getting the feathered cloak yet. Because even if Rich sells the dead bird, I can't buy it yet. Oh, well. Now I have an incentive to get some gold. Garden time. Plant herbs. Rotate. All right.
Okay.
We're growing
no resources
new flame
this
fruit.
week.
Yeah. Craftsman is nothing. Alchemist is nothing. Enhancer reduces enhancement costs. Library is nothing. Workshop is done. It's retired. The carpenter reduces construction costs. The town hall lets us draw 2 challenges and pick which one to do. And eventually, when we've completed the entire challenge deck, I bet we don't, we get to read an event, a scenario. And I bet later on we're going to find out that it's like a breadcrumb trail to unlocking something in Swamphaven. And then the barracks can collectively train soldiers, but we take care of our troops. We're not the United States of America. Sorry, Mr. Bezos. And yeah, so we don't need to spend any money to recruit new troops. Happy
Nice.
times. We're cooking, Greg.
You're good.
Okay, it's downtime. We
So
both
first of
level
all,
up.
level up. Yeah, you and me both. I've
You
got
wanna
a new
tell-
card, new perk.
I don't. I want to be surprised by what your new ability does, but do you want to tell me what it's called?
The level 4 card that I chose is called Divergent Destruction.
Cedric says, "How dare you say that totally and factually true statement?" Yeah. Well, I mean, to your credit, like you were doing okay at taking care of them until it's only been like the last couple months. Oh my, what a world! What a world!
What a world.
It's a dubious blessing to live in interesting times. So, what is that other thing that I was just saying? Oh yeah, I wanted to know the name of your thing, and I did not hear it.
Divergent Destruction.
Divergent Destruction. All right, I like it.
It's a me card. I had a choice of a summon and a me card, and I did go with the me card. Only because the summon was called Toxin Distributor, and it was a summon that did poison stuff, and I just thought we've got Rich for that.
We got that covered for now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, my level 4 card that I believe I'm 95%, so maybe I'll pivot, but I think I'm going with Polar Vortex to add to the mix. It's it's cool because, without giving you all the details, it has a cool attack on the bottom and then a cool forced movement for enemies on the top. The cool attack is lost, but the cool forced movement is not. And I should do the reverse psychology thing with Michaela soon. Send her a friendly message that just says, "Hey, Michaela, Rich told me that I need to face reality and accept that you're never going to come back." And then we'll have her back because I think it would pair really well. I think my forced movement, in general, would pair well with the Trapper, but especially now when I add Polar Vortex. So we'll see if I get around to that. Maybe I will. But it is March, the month that I am the worst at, because it's the November of the winter semester, and I have more students across my classes in winter.
But soon it will be April, James. And then it will be May.
Finally, it will be the cruelest month. But for me, it's not. April's kind of cruel. I got to do final grading, and there's a real extent. There's a real extent to which, when that's happening, you're also suddenly all the cool students are done. They don't need to talk to you anymore. They're happy. They got their good grades. Maybe they sent you a message that said "Have a good summer. Thanks for the course." And so the ones that you're hearing from are the ones going "I just realized I forgot to hand this assignment in January. Fix my grade, please." And so on. And I care about those students too, but they're way more
the
frustrating.
Exams. This is a bit inside baseball, but I'm also just talking to my friend James.
Lay it down.
The exams.
Listen, the people love to know about what it's like to manage a pharmacy next to a Nova Scotian research university.
The exams this year are weird because they go to the 26th, which is a Saturday. Usually they end on a Tuesday or Wednesday. But what I noticed when I was looking at the exam schedule to create my own schedule at work for our employees, there were no exams scheduled for the last 3 days of the exam period.
Huh.
From the 24th to the 26th, there's nothing.
Well,
and in fact, there's very little after Easter, which makes me think that every professor went, I don't want to be here after Easter. Schedule my exam for before.
I've never done a final exam, so I don't know to what extent, if any, people doing final exams get to say something. I could do a final exam because, at least for my upper year class, I have the liberal arts model of like you're gonna do a bunch of short answer questions and then you're gonna write an essay in 3 hours and then your wrist is gonna hurt. But like,
Yeah.
there's no educational value to that. Uh, I remember, in fact, when I was in first year English, I'll always remember my professor saying uh, when he told us about the final exam, he was like, "It's 3 hours long and it's a wrist breaker, and it has no educational value." It's there to reward the just and punish the guilty. It's basically just like literally, if you did the readings, then you'll recognize these things, and if you write down things that sound like what we talked about in class, you will get a good grade. I just don't see the value in making the students hate me for no educational benefit. So there you go. All right. Well, hey, downtime. We both leveled up. I'm gonna pick 2 perks, but I think I might. I think I'm leaning now towards bing bonging on this cool thing. It's an interesting thing where I got to think about because, like, obviously the best way to use it would be to put frost and wind in the air immediately before short resting, so I could do both of the benefit things, and I'd also have to either be close to you or to just pile them on myself. Although it could be a crucial way to keep myself alive.
Yep.
Like it could be a
and like you were just saying about the jumping
into the room,
a big room. Yeah.
Great minds, my friend. I was just because like the jump into the room creates frost. So if I use an attack on the top that creates wind, or Rich creates wind because he can create wind, then at the end of that round, I can ward and put regen on myself. Of course, the regen will still go away the first time I get hit, but if I go quick the next round, which I'll have the option of because I'll have all my cards back from a short rest, yeah, there might be some synergy there.
Yeah.
Plus,
I will say before we move on from downtime,
yes,
are there any new combinations of potions that we can make? We currently have.
Great question.
We currently have a root, a fruit, and a mushroom.
Root, fruit, mushroom.
A root, fruit, and mushroom.
What's the best Brooks and Dunn song is not Boot Scootin' Boogie. It's Maria. I was like, it's a woman's name. And I'm trying to just imagine Ronnie Dunn going, mm-hmm. It is Maria. Okay. So you said we have root, fruit, and mushroom.
Mushroom. Yeah.
Okay. I believe we have not made the root, fruit, and mushroom potion. Let me find it. Rock root, flame fruit, corpse cap. Yep, we could make that.
Okay.
Neon moon. Ooh. I feel like I've heard that. I'll have to check it out. You know what? I'll say this. I bet I don't agree with whatever their politics are. But
just taking a stab at that.
But yeah, Brooks and Dunn, talented. You know, I'm not like a modern country guy, but they're good. They're good. They are.
I need to look up the formula for small items again very quickly.
For how many you can hold?
Yeah. A character can use any item. Each character can bring a number of small items up to half their level rounded up. So I'm still level 4. I can only hold 2, and I've got 2. I've got the elemental stone and holy water. Do you have room for a potion?
That's an excellent point, Cedric. Probably it doesn't count as modern country anymore. In fact, that is not what I should have said. Yeah, I don't even know how to characterize it anymore. Because I think you would have called it modern country in the 1990s to say distinguish it from like Alan Jackson.
Yeah.
Doing neo-classical. Not that I know that's not what they called Alan Jackson's music something, and it was not neoclassical. Yeah, anyway, suffice to say, I have a lot of tolerance for all of the popular country music of the 90s, at least the early 90s, because for whatever reason, that was what my parents were into at the time. And so
I'm looking online.
Or country music television, not Canadian music television.
I'm looking online, James, and the cutoff for the ages is in the early 2000s. It's not entirely agreed upon, but most people do agree that 9/11 was a hard cutoff.
Yeah, everything changed after 9/11.
Mm-hmm. So they would have been 4th or 5th generation country. as opposed to the sort of people you're talking about who would have been second
Yeah.
or third generation. And we're currently in the sixth generation, which includes influences from hip hop and marking the emergence of country rap.
Yeah, a lot of it really sucks. Although there's also like there's what's her name? Casey Musgraves. I've liked every song.
I thought you were going to go, what's her name? Beyonce?
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. Cowboy Carter is a good album. Okay. Do you think I don't even know what Rich's small item situation is? So let's not do the 3-herb potion and force Rich to take it.
You're stocked up on small items, eh?
I am small item stocked, so
Yeah,
we'll just we'll keep our
hold
powder
off
dry.
Yep.
I was put in an interesting situation that I think I need to revisit in the next class because we were discussing the general question of should engineers make career decisions and work decisions based on their own personal ethics.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like a standard prompt I use to get that discussion going is there any industry you wouldn't work in? And so we wound up talking about working in the defense industry. And I was interested to ask if, like what I was really interested in is there anybody who like even 2 months ago would say like, I never want to work in the defense industry. And now is thinking like, actually, maybe.
Yeah, there's some people.
Yeah. And, but we got off track on something and we were talking about drones and their impact. And I was noting that while if we look at the Russia-Ukraine conflict, we obviously see drones playing, but the big, like it's before that drones, the idea was big, like countries use them against non-state actors. Now they're being used in a conventional war. And obviously they've done a lot to help Ukraine punch above its weight. But now Russia is actually doing a lot of force projection with drones. But I did note that even though they are doing that, it's not allowing them to do the same, like the Aleppo or the Grozny strategy, what they did to Mariupol of just station a bunch of artillery and just like literally just spend a couple months just destroying an entire city. And a student raised his hand and he was like, but isn't that like always a thing in war? Cause like what about shock and awe in the Iraq war? And I was caught a little off guard because like I wanted to push back on what he was saying, but at the same time, like every fiber of my being goes against wanting to sound like I'm even offering a qualified defense of the invasion of Iraq in 2003.
Yeah.
So it's like, I got to actually read up to explain like, no, like the shock and awe thing. And like there's a whole lot of bad things. There's nothing good we can say about the invasion of Iraq, but like shock and awe wasn't literally that they like destroyed every building in Baghdad over the course of several weeks. Anyway, I don't know. I'm sorry, Mr. Bezos.
Yeah, we're getting so deep. We've mentioned 9/11, the war in the Ukraine, and now the war in Iraq.
So we're talking about war.
We do not have the politics.
No, we're not talking about politics at all.
No.
Politics are who to vote for, right?
Right. Okay, well, if we're not brewing anything, then we're on to construction.
All right, we're on to construction. What can we build? I know we built a wall last time.
Yeah, what's
Sorry, Mr. Bezos. Is there anything? What is there? I'll go through our upgrades.
I feel like there's a new building, and there's definitely upgrades.
I don't think there's a new building.
All right, well, what's upgradable?
But hold on. Because I would have put the we can build a new building sticker down, and there is none. We could build another wall, but hold on. Let's look. Okay. We are currently prosperity level 4. We're only 1 tick away from 5, but we are still 1 tick away. Prosperity level 4.
No matter what we build, we'll be level 5 after this.
Yeah. So, we could upgrade the hunting lodge, which is still just level 1. We could upgrade the inn.
Okay.
Which does both upgrading the hunting lodge and upgrading the inn let us read sections. So maybe something cool happens. We could upgrade the gardens and read a section. Okay. We can upgrade the craftsman, but let's not. I don't want to introduce all the items. I know that's the wrong reason not to do it, but I don't want to.
It's the wrong reason not to do it, but yes.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. I might be off base about what lets us read sections because I'm not looking at the new cards. I'm looking at the current cards. I bet the hunting lodge doesn't let us.
I think
in fact, maybe the inn doesn't.
When we draw the card.
Yeah. Alchemist is fully upgraded. Enhancer we can't do. Library we could do. There's almost certainly a
Okay.
section for that because the library seems to just be like a story.
Yeah, that seems to be the section story.
Uh, Town hall is no good. Barracks happens through story events.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think our main options are hunting lodge, inn, garden. I'm kind of leaning garden.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning garden or inn. I think the inn is likely to give us more story events because it's an inn and a fantasy story. But
Yeah,
I think the garden from a
the
resource
garden is
perspective
has
seems
practical
really good.
value. You
Yeah.
get some other herbs planted. So let's do
I
it.
say let's do the garden. How
All
much
right.
is it?
The upgrade cost is 4 lumber, 2 metal, 2 hide.
Metal, two hide. Okay, so I guess we'll cut off one of the lumber with our carpenter to make it 3.
Good catch, Greg.
I'll take one from. Well, I'll take just 3 from Rich. He's got 7 lumber. He won't miss it. And then
Oh, of
2
course.
metal.
I haven't unified all the decks. So all the fancy newer buildings are just floating in their envelopes somewhere.
2 metal,
in my
and 2
distributed
of our
services.
20 hide.
All right.
We'll miss it. All right, there we go. 3 lumber, 2 metal, and 2 hide. All taken.
All right. Well, there is nothing to read,
Okay,
which is fine. Keep it moving.
Yeah.
Keep it moving.
it happens.
And then the sticker is still in here. No, of course not. Why would I unify everything inside the envelopes? I'll find it. Don't worry.
That only makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember how long it took us to find the carpenter stickers?
Yes. It was a whole saga. Here's the library.
Does it say how much prosperity gain on the card? It's usually just 1, right?
Yeah, it is 1.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we'll add the sticker later. It's here.
It's somewhere. I know it is. If the carpenter was there, it's there.
Yeah, but I can describe Garden Level 2. It adds a plot,
Nice.
which you probably expected. In fact, there's the thing. There is no sticker for Garden Level 2. It's just we can use the next plot now, I think. So we have another plot, but we can't plant in it until next time.
That's fine.
Yep. So we plant herbs, we rotate the thing, we gain 1. It has not changed. It's not more productive or anything. It's more productive in the sense that it's bigger and we have more plots. That's it. We add a prosperity, so we're up to prosperity level 5.
Nice. So if I wanted to, I could go to level 5 right now. No.
No.
We've discussed that in the past. It's divided by 2.
Yes. So
we did it wrong in Gloomhaven.
yeah. Although in Gloomhaven, I don't know about everybody, but I wound up just being like, you know what? I'm going to start a little lower so I can enjoy character progression. A core joy of playing RPGs. And a facet of RPGs that Gloomhaven executes wonderfully. I love getting a level up in Gloomhaven. It's quite a bit of fun.
Yeah, and I think Frosthaven is even better because I think they've really made the card choice very hard.
Yes.
Every level really feels, and like going back to earlier levels even seems more valid. Where before it was like, well, obviously these 2 cards are much better than anything that's come before.
Yeah, in Gloomhaven,
now you're
it
like,
was kind of either
other
sometimes
level
it was an
3
easy
card.
choice, and sometimes it was just there are 2 very clear like builds for this character, and once you picked one, it would be stupid to not keep picking down that path. I felt much more choice paralysis, but the good kind, where you know you're making a good choice either way, but you wish you could make them both. So, okay, we're up to prosperity level 5. Could you update that in the console, Greg?
Oh yes, of course.
I don't believe that will have any impacts on anything else. Or is that
Is that the best victory music in video games?
I don't know if it's the best victory music, but it's the best victory chime, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
Like just actually, I mean, the whole Final Fantasy victory fanfare is great. So quite possibly yes. Dragon Quest
Putting
has
it
an
up to
iconic
5.
sound, but it's
Yes.
not better than do 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 do.
Putting up to 5 didn't automatically update anything, so I don't think
No,
that would.
no, it's morale that updates defense.
All right.
Cool. Well, so it goes. And now we hold on. I think there might be something to update. No,
We did. We successfully did a
walls
challenge. Did that let us pick a perk?
A town guard perk. Yes, we have a town
Nice.
guard perk to choose, and that will let us read a thing. So
I'm
we
glad
can
I remembered
squeeze a
that.
little bit more out of this episode. Okay, let me
A
look.
little more juice.
Let me read the. I'll read you just the things. We could replace a -10 with a +30 and one -20, but gain a resource card. I don't know. Similarly, we could replace 2 +10s with 2 +30s and one -20, gain 2 resources. We could do another, replace a -10 with a +10. We could replace 2 +0s with 1 +10. We could replace 2 +10s with 2 +10 roll through, gain advantage on this target cards. We could add 1 +30. We could add 2 roll through +0s that gain 1 hide, and we could do the same thing for the other material resources. So I'm inclined to say that of those options, the most appealing ones are replace a +0 with a +10, replace 2 +10s with 2 +10 roll through, gain advantage, or add a +30.
Are there any that let us just remove negative cards without putting any new negative cards in?
We could double dip on remove -10, add +10.
I think it's good to get rid of the minuses, just to thin out the deck and make it more likely that we pull positives.
There's something to be said for that, but I will point out that the roll through and gain advantage ones would have the same impact, right?
It would have the same. It would have the same effect. You're right. Yeah, let's go with that one. How many of those? Is that just the only one we can take of that, or can we take that multiple times?
We can take everything twice except for the +0 roll through, gain a thing.
All right, let's take that one, and then maybe next time we'll double up on one of those two, and we'll do those until we're done. And then we'll start doing the other stuff.
Okay, so we're going to read section 130.3. Then we'll do a road event, and then we'll say goodnight.
Good stuff.
Oh, I'm looking at the scenario book, but I didn't get any spoilers for scenario 130. Don't worry.
I wasn't worried, James.
Nobody is worried except for me.
Mm-hmm.
But my worries were late. Okay, here it is. For whatever reason, I put the section book on the floor. I don't know. My brain is on fire. I don't know what's going on. I took my ADHD medication today. 130.3. Section 130.3. Job posting. On the docks, you notice a vermling peering down into the water. Oh, buckle up, folks. In one hand, she carries a travel bag. She probably came to Frosthaven on the Lucky Lady, the ship that just docked. She introduces herself as Ratuska and gestures down at the water, where a corpse is tangled in a line that hangs down from the ship's bowsprit. The body looks like it's been dead for some time. Its clothing and armor are rotted through. The only thing intact are the wide gold bracelets around its bony wrists. Help me haul the body out of the water, she tells you. And if you're interested in getting more of those wristbands, I can tell you where to find some, so long as you cut me in on the profits. You haul out the body of an Algux. It looks mummified and has several chunks torn out of it, as if some hungry creature tried to feed on its leathery flesh. Ratuska slips the wristbands off the corpse. Just before we reached port, the ship struck an iceberg, she tells you. Fortunately, it was a small one, and it broke apart. That's where the body came from. I saw several more dark shapes inside the ice that may have been more bodies. And we unlock the new scenario, Frozen Treasure, scenario 90.
Okay. So, this was because of a town god perk?
Yeah.
Weird.
I assume that the new town guards came in on the Lucky Lady. And then it just happens that also Ratuska did.
Good old Ratuska.
Ooh, and this is a scenario chain, a 2 scenario chain of side scenarios. Oh, and it's another one where where it ripped out but left behind its sticker frame. There we go. The symbol on it simply indicates that it's unlocked by a job posting. So I think I'd already forgotten about the first time we did this, but I guess we're always going to get this.
Yeah.
So Frozen Treasure will be at L, or is that I? It's I. They had the common sense to not use lowercase l.
Why would they do that?
You can imagine it being done. Not that there would be any good reason to. I3.
Oh, it's out there too then. Is this a requires a boat or requires... Oh, it gotta require a boat.
It does not indicate the requirement of a boat, although it's quite possible that that is a...
Did you say it was scenario 90?
90.
Scenario 90.
Added to the map. Now we'll just take a quick peek.
The errata actually says that this one does not require a boat. It's not necessarily your boat. I guess we specifically in the lore of this take a different boat to get there.
Oh, probably the lucky lady.
Probably the lucky lady.
In fact, I accidentally read the opening sentence, which starts with a firm agreement in place, Ortuska leads you aboard the lucky lady.
There you go.
So, let's see. It's a scenario written and designed by Lisa Smedman, and the scenario is complete when all enemies in it, except any inactive frozen corpses, are dead. So I guess there's some waking up mechanic in the special rules for the corpses that are frozen in the water. You may end the scenario at the end of any round when this is the case.
Ooh.
Or I guess you can carry on if you have some reason to want to. And then read the end. Cool. Well, we won't be doing that anytime soon, but...
No. Well, I mean, we've got 2 clear options here in the Thawed Wood and whatever the name of the orb one that we just unlocked for Rich. And I think we're doing orbs, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're doing the orbs. Okay. So, is there nothing left, Greg, but the road event?
There's nothing left but the road.
Well, nothing's real except the money and the miles. Summer road event 38. Hold on, who's speaking? All right. Just down that crevasse, screaming like crazy, the mining camp foreman says. I'm not sending my folks down there. I'll leave it to you to put it down. You climb down the ridge, and sure enough, protruding from a recent rock slide is the limp arm of an unfettered. Approach closer so I may eliminate you. The arm swings uselessly, with its interior mechanics exposed. Put yourself within range of my power flail and taste my steel. You don't know how long this thing's been down here, but it's clearly lost it. You brush aside the larger rocks and find its entire lower half has been crumpled by the rock slide. I've got you now. Crushing leap. The machine does not move. You were sent to eliminate the threat and cash in on the scrap, but there may be an opportunity here. It could be a valuable asset if you can reason with it. That said, it would need a significant overhaul to get it back to operational. Option A. This angry machine is worth more as scrap than as a pet project. Deactivate and salvage it. Option B. Try to salvage the machine without deactivating it. I have a feeling about
my friend.
Yes.
I feel like it would be a race crime if you did this while I'm here.
There is both the emotional attachment that you personally feel to our robot friends, and then also the role-playing attachment that you feel to your brethren. So let's do it. Option B, doing the right thing. I can see the reward for option A, which is gain 5 collective metal. That's grim. You drag the machine back to Frosthaven. It spends the whole trip launching impotent threats. I will fill your boots with blood. With some significant repairs, you should be able to get it back to working order. Back in town, you leave it with the capable Quattro inventor, Pinter Drellman, and you hope for the best. We're going to add Summer Outpost Event 54 to the Summer Outpost deck And we're going to resolve another Summer Road event right now.
Okay. Yeah, we had to go back to town. Yeah, I think that was the right choice. I think this new event's going to be good.
Yes, I agree. Even if it's just a different way to unlock a robot that we already have unlocked. But I bet it's probably something else. Who knows? We'll find it. This is Summer Road Event 29. You're walking down the trail a few hours from Frosthaven when you can't help but notice the insects nearby following you. You can never be too sure whether a swarm of bugs are a sentient harrower or idle insects just smelling your lunch. All doubt is removed when the ground begins to tremble and the swarm coalesces in front of your eyes. Harrowers interacting with other races tend to wear clothing to give the illusion of a more solid form, and typically can't maintain a presence much larger than a human without splitting. This harrower, however, drags its naked form to a towering height larger than an algox. The twitching, swirling mass forms a gaping mouth wider than your arms could stretch and speaks with a humming, layered voice that makes your skin crawl. Satha, where is Frosthaven? Option A, point it in the direction of Frosthaven. Option B, point it away from Frosthaven.
I mean, he sounds creepy and bad, but I have a feeling he's a friend.
That could be misdirection. And he knows Satha. Hopefully not because she like mistakenly swatted part of him or something. Listen, here's the thing. Yeah. There's no possibility of Satha being killed. We can metagame to realize that she will appear in fixed parts of the narrative.
Yeah.
Right.
I would say there's a small chance though that this is going to unlock a town event that will turn out to be really bad. Like it will be like some attack.
But
she'll be like, "Oh, that damn harrower found me. How could you figure out where I was?"
Well, you know what? We can soak up some morale loss, and
for sure.
And meanwhile, I'll point out that literally, in a role playing sense, we just slogged back to Frosthaven to try to keep an obviously hostile robot alive because of your brethren-like attachment to it. But you are the harrower, imitating something, whatever.
Yeah.
You're a robot designed to be like a harrower. So you feel kinship for this thing too. Listen, you know what? Society could use more trust.
It's a trusting time right now. Let's do it.
Yeah. Not in real life, but in Frosthaven. Option A. But, it'd be good if it was. Okay. Option A. With the looming monstrosity staring you down, you point the way towards Frosthaven. Without another word, the harrower dissolves into a sea of bugs that swarm past your legs, down the path you indicated. It's some time before the unsettling sound of their thousands of tiny legs fades from your mind. Add Summer Outpost Event 44 to the Summer Outpost deck. So we're filling that Outpost deck up with potential disasters, but hopefully good things. I'll make those additions, but not right now while everyone's watching, because there's nothing to see. I'm not even on camera.
If one of these turns out to be like an evil robot attack or an evil bug attack, and the other one turns out not to be, then we've split even tonight.
We split even, and you know what? There's something to be said for not hardening your heart. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe there is. Okay, so yeah. Hey. Boom.
All right.
Outpost phase.
There we go.
I'm a fan of the Outpost phase. I think we've said this a bunch of times. There's nothing really new to add, but they did a great job of turning the nothing of just going and doing a Gloomhaven City event into a something. Not least because you do feel a real sense, like more than any overarching narrative, you just feel a sense of like, yeah, we are trying to build and protect the Outpost of Frosthaven and make connections with the people up here in the north.
Mm-hmm.
So awesome. That's it. That's all. That's all there is. What's coming up? Well, let me tell you. Tomorrow, it'll be me, a cisgender dude, playing Space Quest 5, The Next Mutation. We're going to finish that, barring unforeseen disaster, because Roger is going in to the genetics secret lab. No, he's invading the Goliath. We've already been to the genetics secret lab. So hopefully Roger saves the day again. It'd be quite a twist if he was instead killed in Space Quest 6 stars. The Dr. Wankmeister becomes the main character. I think Roger's going to pull it out. So we're going to find out together. On Sunday, It's time for more Disco Elysium. We're down the coast. The case is heating up, even as it gets colder outside. And we are going to go into the church, where there may or may not be a wall-climbing crab man. My money's on there's not, and that the witness was mistaken. But I guess we'll find out together. And meanwhile, otherwise, Lieutenant and Harry Dubois are just trying to figure out, where did the shot that killed the murder victim come from? Could it have been a sniper shot from down the coast? I don't know. We're going to look around, and we're going to find out. I freaking love this game, and I can't wait to find out what happens next. And then, all skies clear for next Wednesday.
Yep.
Sweet.
Good on my end.
We broke the streak this week because of me. I got sick. But the streak will revive, and this time we're going to have at least 4 consecutive episodes. We are going to finish Phase 2 by early summer. I'm laying my marker down. So we're going in to some Genesis beat 'em up that I can't remember. And also, finally, I'm going to dig out my Wii U, and we're going to play Capcom's Dungeons & Dragons Tower of Doom.
Nice.
So that's exciting. And then before you know it, it's going to be Friday again. Rich will be back with us, and we'll be diving into the next Marcel scenario, which is always, for better or worse, an exciting time. So that's where we've been, and that's where we're going. If you stuck around to the end, thank you for sticking around to the end. If you came and you left, you can't hear my voice. I'm glad you stopped by anyway. So thanks for stopping by. And until the next time, when we're fighting on the side of the elemental cores, take care of yourselves. And be kind. Greg, you're not doing the gimmick. To everyone you meet.